Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. How are things at your side?
I don't appear to have any video.
Hi, Nicole. How are you? Just going to see if I can make sure that I'm admitting everyone. No one's waiting in the waiting room. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Very nice. I'll sort out my video in a minute.
Hi, Paul. Good to see you. How are you?
Hi. Why can't I hear anyone?
I'm going for the win. My moves.
Yeah. You can't see me, can you?
No, not yet.
I just need to unplug my big screen, I'm afraid.
Oh, I want teas and coffees, whatever Nicole's having, or maybe something stronger. Nicole, you're on mute, so feel free to unmute yourself.
Right, I'm unplugging, so I should be back in.
We are a super friendly bunch here, so we're going to run these in such a way that you know, if we were all in the same room, we would be chatting and moaning, groaning, and discussing all the aches and pains of COVID-19 or the latest gossip. So feel free to unmute yourself and have a good chat before we're officially starting. So welcome to this month's meeting. I'm going to be your sort of host for the evening, but in essence, the real host here is Nicole, who's going to be running you through some of the relevant elements of the information and updates from UKHA. But my job is really to keep Nicole in line, because Lorraine told me she needs keeping in line. So, no, I'm just joking. I'm going to be here to just help moderate and hopefully learn something new and support you with you know, getting the most out of these catch-ups. My name is Jo Simovic, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Umbrella Training. But since I suppose mid-September, I'm an honorary member of UKHA, because I'm going to be running all of these for the next year. So yeah, so thank you, Lorraine, for that. She's not here yet to say, you know, thanks for getting me into this. Apparently, I've got a rowdy bunch on my hands, so we'll see how it goes. But feel free to unmute yourself and you know, say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
Hi, Steph.
Hi, you all right?
Yeah, good, all good. All good. Hi, everybody.
Hello, how are you?
Andrew.
Really
Hi.
good, really good. Pleased to see a few familiar faces this evening.
Not so familiar.
We've got high expectations, Andrew, because you're one of our sort of panelists, so you're going to be telling us things. So I've decided I'm going to use these sessions as my CPD, how to, you know, to learn as much as I can from the session. So I've got my notebook.
Oh, no pressure then?
Absolutely no pressure. Absolutely no pressure. Let me see. We've got someone on the chat saying that they can't. They can't seem to get a camera to work, so I'm going to have a look if I can help with that. If you have any questions that you want to pose or any points for discussions, feel free to use the chat. Or you can use Q&A option. That's also a good thing. If you want to say something and you're like, you don't fancy sort of joining into the live discussion, but you want to make a comment, feel free to use the chat box, because I will be using that as well. Everyone's nicely and neatly coming in, so we're going to give everyone another 3 or 4 minutes to get in, and then we'll have a proper introduction.
Has Paul gone? Cross.
So that was someone can log in.
Paul's asked me if I'd got questions, and I haven't got questions.
Nicole.
Hello.
Hi. I pinged an email over before. I sent it to you as well, Jo.
Yeah, I've got that question. Yes, I
Did you
do.
get
Thank
it?
you. Yes.
I didn't get it, Paul. Which one did you? Which email did you send it to?
Nick's, was it?
All right. Okay. I shall open. Let's have a look.
Have a little look.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're hoping that you can actually put your cameras on, and feel free to unmute yourself. I might later on just ask everyone to mute themselves during Andrew's part of the discussion, but if you have a lot of background noise and you're not talking, just mute yourself. If you are wanting to get into the discussion, unmute, so we are able to just have a clean webinar, or a catch up rather than a webinar. We're just letting people in, so there's quite a few people, so this is looking really good. I still prefer coffee and cake that Leanne promised, but we'll do that at some point soon. Hello, good evening, Heather. Good evening, everyone who's just joining. Welcome. Feel free to switch on your cameras, and sort of unmute yourself and say hello if you want to. If you know someone, say hello to them specifically, because it is one of those chilled sessions where we're not going to be sitting and doing a webinar style sort of delivery.
Hi Jo, your location looks fabulous. Where are you?
I know, Seychelles. And there's a reason for my background. There's an absolute reason for my background. You'll find out soon.
Okay.
We've cooked up the reason. Actually, I'm going to start with that if it's the right time. I don't want to disadvantage some of the ones that are sort of joining in late, so I'll wait for a couple of more minutes. There is a part of this that is a training session that we're going to do in a second, because I'm a trainer and I have to do something where I'm teaching people something, otherwise I feel uncomfortable. Right, I'm going to make an assumption that anyone who's joined late, they have to do a singing for me. So if they're late, they have to sing. So anyone I admit from now on onwards, we'll ask them to sing in order to join. And we're going to make an official start. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jo Simovic, and I am going to be your hostess for the evening. Well, not just for this evening, but for all of the future UKHA catch-ups, coffee chats, and these get-togethers. Like I said, I feel that my role as a Chief Operating Officer, Umbrella Training, and a management consultant is secondary to my new role that I am now in, which is basically an honorary member of UKHA. So I'm really sort of focusing on that, and I think I'm going to put that in my signature. So welcome everyone. Tonight we have Nicole Regan as the real host of the evening. So Nicole, do you want to say a couple of words? Not really.
No, not really. Hello, everybody.
Right. Hi Nicole.
Hi, everybody. And Nan, of course.
Hi Nan.
Hello.
Hi, brilliant. Well, let me tell you how this evening is going to go. Hopefully you've got a cup of tea, or cup of tea, there we go, or something a little bit more enticing. I was trying to rummage through my fridge, but it seems like my Monday evening session has not been good for me or for my fridge and my alcohol supplies. It was a hard Monday, needed to be done. So I don't have anything, but for the next one, I'll make sure that I've got a bottle of wine for one of these. So I hope you have a bit of something to drink and you're ready for some real treats. So tonight we have Andrew, who's going to tell us a little bit about well-being and a little bit about dealing with sort of challenges of COVID-19 in lockdown. We have Nicole with some really interesting questions that we want to pose to you guys to have a discussion about. We've had some questions come in through the website that we want to pose and discuss with you, but also anything else that you put on the chat and you actually ask. So welcome to the session. The idea of these sessions is that they are interactive. So if you're thinking that you're going to be sitting there doing nothing, that's absolutely not an option. So the first part of this is actually to teach you how to make an amazing background like this, okay? And the reason for it is we actually have a prize for the most outrageous background, okay? Now I'm going for it because mine moves. So I think I'm going to get this prize. But Nicole, can you entice us with what the prize is for tonight?
Okay, so we have, those of you that know me know that I sell Darcy's products. So we have a lovely Christmas reed diffuser in Mrs. Claus's cookies. And we have a lovely little candle in something called Snow Fairies, both very Christmassy and both ready to be posted out to whoever wins.
Okay, so the winner will be the one who has the wildest background. So I think as our sort of guest speaker tonight, Andrew, you'll have that sort of joy of choosing the wildest background. I can see Leanna is already working on it, but I did train her yesterday, so that's unfair, you know. So what we're going to be doing is in the bottom left-hand corner of your Zoom, you actually have a stop video sign. Don't stop your video. I'm just pointing to it just for a second. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to press the little arrow that goes up. You need to press the little arrow that goes up and it says choose virtual background. Yeah. So John's already changed it. It's not very wild, but it is a virtual background. So I'm loving it. Andrew has already gone back. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. So there's some really good backgrounds happening. So whilst we're on this catch up, if you don't mind at some point changing your background, Jean, I love yours. I would love to be there. That's amazing. You know, there's some amazing backgrounds already happening. The one that has the wildest background is going to get the prize. So now we got that out of the way. I think it would be a really, really good time to actually start this session. There's quite a few participants here, but like I said, the most important thing housekeeping wise is this is your opportunity to chat, to discuss things, to have a go at answering and proposing some questions that you really want to know the answers to, but also to give us an idea of what are the things that we need to be focusing on and working on in the next month and producing for you. There are two things that you need to know. There is a chat function that some of you have already started. So I'm going to just now say hello to everyone on the chat, and please feel free to use chat function to ask any questions or anything like that. I love the fact that some of you are really blurry. So Leanne, I love your background, but I can only see your glasses. But that works as well. So it's really good. And then the only other thing is if you are wanting to speak, unmute yourself or raise your hand or pose a question, and I'll call you into a discussion so we can keep this orderly. Nicole, have I forgotten anything?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, would you like to give any other sort of suggestions as to what we need to do, or have I covered all of the housekeeping elements?
No, I think you've covered all the housekeeping elements. What I'd like people to think about for after Andrew is it's particularly for housekeepers this, and I'm aiming it at housekeepers in 3- and 4-star hotels. And what their experiences are at the moment. So just I'd like people to have a think about that while we're moving forward.
We'll really invite that discussion. And I again, maybe these backgrounds are not working as well for everyone because some people are really blurred. So you might need to come into the camera a little bit. So without further ado, we're going to invite Andrew to tell us a little bit about his experiences and his sort of view of the world at the moment, and then we'll invite for questions, and after that we'll talk about the experiences of people from 3 and 4 star properties. So Andrew, you've got the floor.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, everybody. Okay. Anybody that's changed the background to San Francisco, I can't see you. So
That's Nicole and Nan. I'm trying to
I
change
can't
it.
see you all, but I'm really grateful for this opportunity to talk to you all, and it's really nice that everybody's taken time out the day to listen to somebody like me, and it's great to see faces old and new, and I hope you're all really safe, really well, and all looking after yourselves in what's been a really, really testing time for us all. I hope you agree to that. So I'm Andrew from Hygieia Group, family business, been involved in cleaning over 30 years. Predominantly, I provided cleaning services, and then a couple of years ago, a different path arose, and I've gone down the path now of providing cleaning products, mainly cleaning equipment. When I've met all you guys before, I've spoken to you about cleaning equipment, and that's what we do now. So when we talked about the coronavirus happening and me selling cleaning equipment, it almost evaporated overnight. Everywhere became shut down. There was nowhere for me to go to provide the cleaning equipment to. Hotels, schools, any form of education, leisure centres, anywhere you could think of that I was going to go and demonstrate and show my cleaning equipment off, all gone overnight. But there was another side to my business that I never really promoted much, that I've had to focus on for the last few months, and that's providing solutions for people to clean with. Toilet rolls, PPE, hand sanitizer, things like that, things that were always in my brochure, but I'd neglected really, because I almost went for big wins when I was selling cleaning equipment, instead of focusing on the smaller items that were in my brochure. So that's one thing I learned straight away from coronavirus is go to your brochure. What did you provide before that you haven't been doing very well? So it was a really, really testing time for me. I don't want to talk about my company and selling my company to you tonight. I'd rather to get you to know me personally rather than that. So testing time. We've gone into the coronavirus situation. We've gone into lockdown. Andrew's got no help from the government whatsoever. No help from the government. I'm no hand downs, no 10 grand here, 10 grand there that Boris has given out. I've got absolutely nothing. So anything that Andrew earns, he's got to earn himself and be a big boy, put his big boy pants on and go forward and do it. So gone into lockdown, and everybody's wanting hand sanitizer. So Andrew goes out there and finds after 2 weeks some touch-free hand sanitizing dispensers, and there's none in Great Britain. I managed to find some. I invested some money in there, my personal savings, to buy these hand sanitizers. Bit different to everything else. They're an aluminium canister, and they've gone down really, really well. Absolutely fantastic. Everybody loves them. My biggest client is Leeds United, amongst hotels, restaurants, and everything like that. So I've got the ground up. I've got the ground up and running with my hand sanitizers that nobody else has got. And then we're selling PPE. We're selling other types of things that out of brochure. Toilet rolls. We had the shortage of toilet rolls. Remember that? Put your hand up if you couldn't buy a toilet roll at one bit. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Nigel, you've always had toilet rolls, Nigel. I don't believe you.
Yeah,
Again.
I bought from Costco a month before, Andrew.
All right. All right. Okay then. I'll go on to another page. All right. So we had the toilet rolls, and then we had hand sanitizer, and then we got nitrile gloves. So I've been involved in all that, trying to source everything. But we gets into lockdown, and the second, third week in April, my dad's not very well, and he's admitted to hospital during the middle of lockdown. Dad's got to have his toe amputated, routine operation. He was a diabetic, had to go into hospital to have his toe amputated, routine operation. in hospital 2 weeks. We haven't seen him in lockdown. We can only speak to him on the phone. So I'd already started a fitness campaign where I wanted to look after my well-being. We're in lockdown. We can only go out so often. So I made an investment in myself where I invested in my fitness. I used to go out every morning and exercise, either on my own or with my dog. I made sure that during this period, I had started exercising and started feeling really fit, really strong. Because in my mind, I think if my lungs are working, I ain't going to get coronavirus, or I haven't got it. Dad goes into hospital to have his toe amputated. Has it done? It's successful. 2 or 3 days into it, he's out of bed, walking around, bang. He's short of breath. Dad gets tested and he's caught coronavirus in York Hospital. 4 days later, Dad dies of coronavirus. So I've got to carry on running my business, keep my mum going, who I can't have any contact with, and carry on keeping my family together, providing for my family. Really, really, really difficult time. Now, it could have gone 2 ways. I could have sulked about it. I could have got really down about it. What I did was I trained even harder. I listened to some good audio books, and all I kept thinking of was positive things about my dad and his life. I kept thinking all the good holidays we've been on, all the education that he taught me when he brought me into the business, all the holidays, all the birthdays we'd had, all the weekends away, holidays at his villa in Portugal. And all I did was focus on the positive all the time. And guys, it's amazing, you know, I'm no mind coach or anything like that. I'm far from it. I'm just a little fat lad from Donny. But I'll tell you something now. If you can think as many positive things as you can and be as nice to as many people as you can, it's amazing what gets you through this. So I exercise more. I started doing on my dog walk in the morning, I started doing the odd Facebook video, and I got some real positive feedback from it, from me being positive and how I was handling situations. I'd get private messages saying how nice, so nice to everybody. It made everybody's day better. And I'm sorry for rushing this through. I've only 10 minutes. But I got so many nice things that people were saying to me. And there were 1 or 2 of them where it had affected people's life, where they'd start doing exercise. They'd start getting off the settee, and instead of having a drink on a night, they'd decide to go for a walk instead. So it sort of steamrolled into me doing it more and more and more. And although I do it less now, it's because I haven't got the time that I used to have. But guys, what we've had at the UKHA meetings, haven't we? People talk about positive thinking about your mindset. It's so important that we look after ourselves, but it's really important to me that we look after each other. We're every networking group that we're involved with. You should be able to feel free to have conversations with all these people. Absolutely. Look up. Sorry, I'm trying to read and do this, but feel free to reach out to people and talk to people, be nice to people, help people where you can. And that's what I do. I get up, I practice gratitude, I do my exercise. I'm leaving here at 6:45 tonight. I am leaving because I've got to go to an exercise class tonight. And that's what I do. So no matter what's happening tonight, every Wednesday, 7 o'clock, I go to a strength and conditioning class because it's great for my mind. No matter what you've done during the day, for me, exercise has been my savior. I miss my dad every single day, but I'm making my dad proud every day because of what I've done and how I've handled it. And I urge you guys, just do the same. Think positive, exercise if you can, even if it's a small walk, and talk to people. I've opened up more since I was 50 years of age than I've ever done in my life before, and it makes me feel good. Any of you that want to talk to me, get my mobile phone, get my email address. I'll talk to anybody. I want to help as many people as I can because that's how I am as a person. So for me, don't want to really talk about my products and what I do. I sell a bit of hand sanitizer and a bit of bog roll. but have a look at my website. I don't want to do the hard sell on you. Yeah. Nigel, when he does his, all he'll talk about is beds. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk about being happy, helping people, and log on to my website and have a look what we do. We've got an online web shop, hygieia.co.uk. And is that me 10 minutes, Joe? Have I been any good?
Yeah, shut up now.
Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'll take Nigel, next time, and I'll see how well he does. But you've done so well. You've done so well on a difficult topic, and to come and talk actually not about products, but to talk about the challenges and the ones that you've had is really, really hard and absolutely amazing. I've asked people, what are the things that they've done, and I've had some amazing suggestions. Making time to walk the dog 3 times a day. Joe Wilby took up 1 million step challenge for diabetes. There is Heather did 5K walk for pancreatic cancer action. Nigel walks 7K walk every day, and that really makes a difference. But let's put this into a real context. You all have team members. You all have team members. That you manage. You all have you're all leaders in many ways, and you have yourself to look after, and this is not an easy time. And where people talk about lockdown and challenges of lockdown, I think they're still there. There's still that really big worry. I know that I'm more afraid of a lockdown now because it's winter and I can't go and potter in my garden, like I did in March, April, and see something. So it's really hard to find out what to do. But there's some really interesting things that you could be doing to support your team members. So have a look on the chat. I've attached Now Pause, which is a really good app that is free app for hospitality that has, meditations, guided meditations. And I'm not a person who meditates. You can see that I move way too much to be able to sit down calmly and do something. But Now Pause was created by Craig Prentice, who is a recruitment consultant for hospitality, who openly shared his story about stress and pressure and depression and all sorts of things. And I thought, I'm going to stop for a second and have a look what this is. And it really made a difference. I've also put a link to the caterer, and I would love to see UKHA members actually really engage with the Walk for Calm. Walk for Calm is a coordinated effort between the Now Pause initiative and Hospitality Action, where people are walking 20K on the 24th of October to support Hospitality Action and Calm, which is a charity that focuses on suicide awareness. And again, Andrew, your story is really powerful because, you need to look after your team members because, for example, the rates of male suicide and challenges in mental health are so high and no one talks about them. And it wasn't a macho thing to do. So it's really amazing to hear you saying, this is what I've done and I've faced my demons and this is how I've dealt with. Some people are open water swimming. I love that. I've never done that before till this year. And now I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So, share these stories and also encourage your team members to do that because it really, really makes a difference. And it does, the guys that are working out, there is a salute. I struggle, to be honest, to find that time and to make that commitment. And it does impact. So think about how you can put a structure in your day to do little bits and pieces that will make a difference because mental health is really important. Purple Cubed also have Wellbe, which is free for up to 10 team members. Wellbe is an app that you could be using to check the mental health and well-being of your team. So as long as you have a smallish team and you don't have to pay for more than 10, it's free and open to you, and it's really amazing. Purple Cubed are the talent toolbox creators. Also, Jane Stanley is a really good example of a person that writes a lot of articles about how to support team members who have mental health challenges. Are there any questions for Andrew, either about his products that he doesn't want to talk about, or about his challenges and how he's overcome things?
Come on, don't be shy. Come on, talk to me, or I'll talk about my products. Yeah.
Andrew, all I'll say to you is if you're overweight, I'm in serious trouble.
You're not, John. You're not. You're not overweight, mate.
Oh dear God.
Look at this. Look at this for a product, right?
I'm here to host this because I'm not upstairs with my wife actually talking about that I have to lose some weight. So I thought I'm going to come into a safe space. And I'm like, you need to work out. I was like, I know that. That's it. I'm quitting this hosting business if you're going to talk about weight and losing it.
Right.
Andrew's a little bit shy. If the truth be known, he's lost about 10 stone in the last 6 months, haven't you, Andrew?
Yeah, I've lost 2 stone. Right, one product that I want you to look at. One product that I want you to look at is this. It's a backpack.
I love it.
It's got a 1 litre bottle in it, and it's got a sanitizing wand called the Motor Scrubber Storm. So it's brilliant. It's brilliant for sanitizing. So this has been used on London buses, Heathrow Airport. It's been used at Cadbury's World. It's been used at on the London Underground. It's been used on the North Yorkshire Railway. LNER trains are using it. It's absolutely fantastic for sanitizing. So it's not a fogger, but we're putting a liquid layer of protection on it. Cedar Court hotels, they've got one of these in each of their hotels.
You need to sell it into Grantley Hall, Andrew.
Pardon?
You need to sell it into Grantley Hall.
They've gone to TL Killies to buy their stuff, not me. So,
oh dear.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
I want you to, anybody that's got a hotel needs to contact me about the Motor Scrubber Storm that's applying a liquid layer of protection to protect you from this virus. The Motor Scrubber Storm.
What output is it?
Pardon?
What output is it? How does it come out?
It comes out, it's got a battery pack on there, John. Battery pack on there, and it's pumped. There's a pump on the top there, pump battery pack, and it's putting out.
Andrew, I've got questions for you. So grab a seat so I can actually talk to you for a second about it because it looks amazing. Yeah. Carrie wants you to show her your 6-pack, but we can deal with that later. No, don't do that now. No. That's a private chat. But no. Going back to what we were talking about, I've got a question. What product do you put in it?
Right. You can put the Tisano Lotus Pro ozone water through it that is now being passed that deals with COVID. So that's great. Nicole at Mottram Hall, brilliant news for Mottram Hall because they've had the system in for ages that deals with the virus. So it's great news for you, the Tisano Lotus Pro system.
I've got more questions. So, now, can I point out that I get sent back to my own room to do the bed again in my own house. So I'm that bad. Okay, but I've learned things. What do I do with the cushions? Does it go onto the soft furnishing? What does it do to the precious? I don't know. To Lorraine's cabinets in the Windsor Castle.
Perfect with the Tisano Lotus Pro system because it's only ozone water, and there are other products out there that are non-tainting. I can talk to people if people want to private message me rather than waste your time and.
You're not wasting time. This is about learning, so it's good to know these things. So can I ask
there are different products out there. There are different products out there. Some people are putting virucidal products through it. North Yorkshire Railway are putting a product that protects surfaces for 30 days called Zuno through it. That's a really, really popular product, but that protects surfaces for up to 30 days. Different people are putting different products in it. I'm either selling people virucidal products or the Tisano Lotus.
Anything can go in it. So if you already have a choice that you've made earlier on with the products that you're using, anything could go with it. Thank you. If you don't mind sending this to Carrie, that would be really good. I've got a question from UKHA. I'm assuming that's Lorraine. How do we know this is scientifically proven to prevent COVID-19?
We've just got the paperwork that says that the reports where what the chemicals do is they go to the labs for testing, and the labs give you paperwork to say it's effective against this, effective against that. So there's been
Yeah.
lab testing done, and it says in the paperwork that it's effective against it. That's all
Okay.
we've got, things that are effective.
Now, the first housekeeper that sends me a message that tells me the numbers that it has to have, the EN something numbers, because I can't remember them, I'll give you a prize later on. I'll work out what that is. I don't know, you know.
Andrew, I think you could put a Ghostbusters slant on this here. Who are you going to call? Hygieia.
Yeah.
Does it have the EN numbers, the correct EN numbers, Andrew?
Yeah. I've got a product in front of me that's EN 14476, which is a virucidal. The important numbers are EN 14476, EN 1276, ENI 13707, and EN 1650. They're all crucial numbers.
I have John who's raised his hand nicely and kindly. John, would you like to unmute yourself and ask a question? Thank you for the numbers.
Oh,
Sue.
it's a question. Well, Andrew and I have met. Andrew won't recognise me, of course, but you know many people. I love the way that whatever Andrew investigates and looks at, he only sells products he really believes in, and so he came to my office building what was it last year, Andrew, and you demonstrated the IMOP
demo to you, John.
Yeah. So
Really
all I would say is, having had experience as a consultant and as a provider of cleaning service, Grantley Hall Hotel and Spa, you guys have obviously entered a whole new, I would say, post-COVID world, but now with what's going on in the world at the moment, it's obviously current COVID world. And what I noticed, having visited all these different 4 or 5 star hotels, is there's no standardized approach across a lot of the hotels. But what seems to happen, and I won't tell you the name of the hotel, but it is by Condé Nast awarded the 2nd best hotel in the world, and I've been friends with the owners for more than 20 years, is that come April and May, they were budgeting for 20% occupancy. Now, obviously, quite the reverse has happened. So whilst they've enjoyed an enormous amount of trade, they've kind of neglected certain hotels to actually address, hold on, we need to increase the budget, because obviously the more time you put in, the more time, resource and monetary resource you have to put into housekeeping, then the better and effective job you can do. Yeah. And I think really for me, as I've been in commercial cleaning for 34 years now, I've never lost a client to non-performance. I've delivered over 5.5 million managed cleaning hours. I now act as a part-time consultant. My clients that we've consulted with are the Dorchester in London, and more recently Grantley Hall Hotel and Spa and the Grand in York. So we see that there's almost been in a lot of cases a disconnect between the people, the decision makers who decide on the budget with housekeeping, and the people that decide on how much money can be paid. So I thought my 2 pence in there.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting what the question that you're raising, John, about the resources, and I think we get to thank you so much to Andrew for the inputs today, and for sharing this product. Again, you can have a look at that, and Carrie will actually show this through marketing side. But what I would like to focus on now is that element about budgets and what you guys are coping with. So early on, Nicole has mentioned the 3 and 4 star hotels, and we'll come back to the discussion about the resources in all of the hotels rather than just 5-star hotels. But can we talk about the experiences of any housekeepers from 3 and 4 star properties, and the challenges that you're facing? Because we want to make sure that everyone is getting the support that they need as part of the membership. So anyone out there who's got who works in a 3 or 4-star property or across the group, what are your challenges currently? Feel free to unmute yourself, because I don't know where you work, so I can't pick on you. I can pick on Nicole, but I can't pick on anyone else.
Nicole, kick it off.
Yeah, okay, I'll kick it off. So the reason that I'm interested in this is because I've had a number of phone calls after the 4th of July of hotels that have opened, housekeepers that have opened, and what they're going through because of the lack of, I don't know whether it's care from the companies, the owners, or what it is, but the expectation has changed. And the one thing that I heard very much at the start was that housekeeping had been escalated up the ladder, and how housekeeping was now at the forefront. That's, for me and my experience, and a lot of other people's experiences, a lot of rubbish. It's what's happened is housekeeping have been given a task to do. On the outside, they're being shown, like, if you go into my company, they'll say, oh yes, we're giving the housekeepers 50 minutes a room. Oh yes, we're fogging every single room. We're fogging it when we go in, we're fogging it when we go out. We use ozone water, so we're completely COVID safe. But then they shove through 60–70% occupancy when you've got enough people to do 20 to 30% occupancy. So that's and I didn't go back straight away because they kept me off. So I actually literally go back tomorrow full time. I've had a flexi furlough through September, but been expected to do the work of what I would do when I was there full time. And this is happening across the board. And what worries me is that when we're not having the meetings where people can come and download and have a glass of wine and everything, people are ringing me, which is great, absolutely great. Just wanted to be sort of people to get on here and get out what's happening with them and see if we can help in any way, or different ideas for different places. At the moment, for example, Nan is a very expensive linen porter. I'm a very, very expensive fogger. So what sort of experience are other people having?
I mean, Nicole, I can't say from a hotel point of view, as you know, I'm working in care homes, but I can put across that a lot of people have contacted me because the furlough is coming to an end and they're starting the redundancy process with whole layers of management across the hotels. So we're trying to help, that we know of any jobs, get them out there so that they can apply. I can only tell you that from my point in Yorkshire.
Can I ask you, Kerry, with that in mind, what kind of support do you feel that is going to be needed for those team members that are going to be made redundant? What would you like to see in the terms of support? And this is a question that is open for everyone out there. We'll come back to the question to the 3 and 4 star hotels in 2 ticks, but is there anything that we could be doing as an association for the members and for your team members to support them through redundancies?
Well, I went through redundancy of about 2.5 years ago, and it's a very, very stressful procedure, very, very upsetting, and I worry about our members' mental health, how we can support them with that. So I've tried to just share my experiences that I went through and how I tried to cope with it. And sometimes just talking helps.
Yeah.
But that's something I think moving forward is going to happen more and more if the economy is going the way it's going and the COVID is rising and potentially another lockdown. Yeah. It's keeping all our ears and eyes open so that if we hear of any positions, sharing that news to people we know who are going through the process.
I mean,
I think, Jo, as well, as we discussed yesterday, I think, like, for example, for myself, if I end up looking for something somewhere else, my CV is 17 years old, and there's lots of people that have been in places for a while where their CVs could be 10, 15 years old. and it's not something I would normally keep up on. So I think people would, that would be a good one to support people, is with helping them sort of like update CVs and stuff like that.
Yeah. So is that something that you believe that people would log on to as a webinar to listen to and to get some advice on?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can really look into building something. Can anyone give me suggestions as to what other skills do you feel that people need to be updated on to once they're going through the redundancy process or applying for other jobs? Anything else that you would want? So we discussed CV building, potentially interview skills, anything else you can think of?
I think interview skills would be a good one as well. Especially if people, like I say, have been in their roles for some time. Anything updating sort of wise with that would be great.
Yeah.
Also, I think how to present yourself on Zoom interviews. We're opening a new home, and nearly all the interviews that we're carrying out are via Zoom. So if you're not used to that and how you present yourself and where you put the camera and things like that, I think, you know, like top tips of a Zoom interview presentation.
Yeah, amazing. So we can definitely do that, or maybe look at also how to use Zoom and how to use Teams and the technology to really get everyone. I got I think explaining how skills can be transferable. That's absolutely amazingly, and that's a great suggestion, because I've run transition support workshops for some of my apprentices that are being made redundant. That was one of the key workshops where we talked about, you know, what are the transferable or portable skills that you have. And what we can do is look at, you know, it's just from housekeeping perspective and say, how do we move it forward? So transferable skills. Anyone else?
I think, Jo, that's pivotal, because I worked in hospitality for 40 years. I never ever thought I would leave it. And I didn't realise how transferable my skills were into the healthcare sector.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So these are some of the suggestions. If you have any more suggestions for these workshops, that would be amazing. But that is one of the challenges. If I can go back to something that was said on the chat by Jo, will be a lot of the chat on Scotland WhatsApp. And I just want to remind you that we do have WhatsApp groups, and you really need to be using them because they're there for you. A lot of the chat on the Scotland WhatsApp is about increased occupancy and pressure to get the rooms clean. Can you chat to me or let me know through the chat as to what's the ratio of the staff to the rooms that they need to clean now, and is there an additional pressure, especially I'm interested in 3 and 4 star market, and what do you need in the terms of support? Anyone?
Okay. I think what's needed now is for the powers that be, so the people above us in our units, in our hotels, in our companies, to try to understand that by making staff redundant and then just telling the staff that are left behind that they have to absorb the jobs.
Yeah.
You can't absorb every single task that we do within the housekeeping and every other job as well has a time against it, and nothing can be absorbed. Where to? And I think the lack of understanding seems to have come in the last, probably since we went back full time on the 4th of July. It's just changed. There was all this. We're going to help you. It's going to be fabulous. Everything's going to be fine. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's all about the money. It's all about their profits. And I think a lot of people are going to leave the industry, which is sad. I've done it for over 40 years. I don't particularly want to leave it, but you know what? If something else came up, I'd be off. And
that's a hard thing to hear, because we have spent so long trying to promote housekeeping as a career. And again, we are getting, someone has put a beautiful post note here that isn't housekeeping getting that recognition by the guests. And I do think we're starting to get that recognition by the guests. But the issue is, I think, where you have management structures that are not supporting the housekeeping, we need to be able to educate them. So, you know, I have a couple of suggestions as to what we could do in the terms of association and moving this forward, because we could write, you know, a piece to educate general managers in the terms of, you know, what they need to be doing in order to support housekeepers. We could get master inn holders to promote the right way of working in the terms of budget with housekeepers. And that's something, Lorraine, I don't know whether you're okay to just join into this conversation, but I would be more than happy to bring up this topic specifically with master inn holders on their next session and go, hey guys, what are you doing? Why are you not supporting housekeepers? And if you're not, this is what's going to happen. But it seems like there is a lot of pressure and not a lot of focus on you know, supporting the housekeepers and understanding the budgetary issues and what they need to deliver with half the staff.
What I don't understand though is that the government are saying that we should be COVID safe, and so if you're saying that your hotel isn't complying with the law, they're breaking the law. So why are we not challenging them on that? And we need to be careful. We really need to be careful. And we had this conversation at one of our workshops many years ago about us sounding whiny. So we have to make sure that what we're saying is relevant and we're getting it to our message to the right person. Because if we're breaking the law, if we're not COVID safe, to me that's the answer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and in many ways, it's. Sorry, Nicole.
Nicole. Yeah, sorry.
I think I don't know if there's anybody else on here that's. I think in a corporate hotel, you've got something with that. If you're not following the guidelines and everything else in a corporate hotel, you've got that. What I'm learning quite rapidly over the last 18 months is what it's like to work for a private owner who changes his mind like our fabulous Manchester weather. So last week, didn't like people wearing masks. This week, we've all got to wear masks. And it's not, he will go against what the government is saying and have absolutely nobody to go to. So corporate wise, I would say yes, there's that ability. But if somebody else is in the private sector like I am,
they're not. Yeah, I understand that. So I think maybe what Jo's saying is, let's go to the master inn holders. Let's get the general managers, because I started the conversation like you're saying, Nicole, on one of our umbrella calls, and a general manager was there and he was very offended by what I was saying, because he was, I'm upholding these and I've got housekeeping behind us. But maybe we go back to the master inn holders with general managers and we ask them how they think that we should manage it.
But not just master inn holders. I'm thinking FSB, which is an association of small businesses. They can actually start educating their business owners. I also have a proposal that we write a template. We support you guys with a template email that you can actually send in relation to the staff ratios, in relation to the COVID-19 secure. So it's done in a language that is very formal. So you save yourself, because remember, you have a duty of care towards your team and the guests, and you need to be seen that you're addressing these issues. So if your employer is not COVID-19 secure, you know, this can go down to, but you were the housekeeper.
Yes.
And we don't want that. So let's make a note of making a template for you guys to be able to use. Bye, Andrew. For you guys to be able to
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Enjoy your call, your class.
Thank you.
Does that help? Do you think, guys, that would help to have something that you can go back to and go, hey, this is how I'm going to write to my general manager to point out that this is not okay. It's not, and what Lorraine is saying is really, really important. It's not about whining. It's about presenting facts and the impact. And if this is going to impact their bottom line, they're going to close your hotel if you don't do this right.
Exactly.
They are going to listen. We just need to make them listen in the right way. And I really hope that makes a difference to people like Nan. They're saying that after 40 years she wants to leave the industry. That's scary to hear.
Exactly.
You know? That's absolutely scary to hear. But so to move forward, if you have any other suggestions as to how we can support you, especially if you know 3 or 4 star property, let us know, or let us know.
Can I, Jo, just one thing? Can I just say something? COVID-19 or dust or dirt doesn't sit and go, oh, I'm not coming to you because you're a 3 or a 4 star hotel. I really want us to stop that, because COVID-19 comes to all of us if we're not practicing safe practice, and dirt and dust comes to all of us, whether you're a 5-star hotel, a 2-star hotel, a bed and breakfast. We're housekeepers, and we're cleaning to provide a standard, not to a 2-star, not to a 3-star. I think we should stop that. I just feel that actually is taking away all what the Housekeeping Association is trying to do. It's devaluing it, just looking at one sector. I think we should be looking at all sectors.
I agree, but this is what we're doing is exploring challenges across the sector and the
exactly, but not just saying it's a 2-star hotel, because clean and dirty doesn't sit at a 2-star
but
hotel.
I think the different hotels have different challenges because they have less people for certain star hotels. So that is important, because you cannot achieve certain results if you have very limited amount of staff.
Of course, and if your roles are different, in the morning, if you're doing a PA cleaner, and in the afternoon you could be on reception, absolutely, I understand that.
But and I think what's really
on everyone.
Very for me, what's very apparent is that everything comes down to the housekeeping, and I think it should be common effort in the whole of the building, wherever you work, that everybody should participate. To sanitize something is not that difficult, and somebody who has few minutes, spare, they all can go and sanitize handles and switches and all sorts of things. So perhaps it should be, maybe managers or general managers should be encouraged to involve all the team in the hotel to do this task, and not to leave it to one particular area. That's just something that I observe.
I think
that's just good manners. That's just good manners anyway. That's even even if we take out this process.
Yeah.
But if we're honest to ourselves, if we're really honest, in lots of walks of life, there's people that just don't do that. There's people that are not, they will walk over tissue. They will, and we won't, because we take pride in ourselves. And so we've got to sort of try and get out of that mire. This is what they should do. They're not doing it.
And this is particularly in this now when everybody's making redundant. I don't work in a hotel at the moment right now. I work in a private members club. So all the waitresses and waiters and anybody who is going to be left over after redundancies, they all going to be doing cleaning. So it's a little bit different, because none of these people have the right skills, and none of them want to do this cleaning particularly. And yet they are expected to do this because sometimes it's viewed as a sort of simple process. You just go on and clean. So there's a little bit different challenges with that as well.
I think also we have to show the importance that, we are the infection control army. The people out there that are doing it, are making the places safe, and therefore the importance should be on that structure. Because it is more than just cleaning now. You are an infection control expert.
And so that's why the time allowance is very important, or time allocation, to do these tasks and to do them properly.
The only way we're going to get this move is to educate people that manage us.
Yeah.
And I think this is where we're going to create templates for different challenges that you have. So feel free to email us with the challenges so we can create templates that have the data and the stats and the impact. And the first template that we'll do is going to be a letter to, an email template to a general manager about, what happens if you feel that the practice is practiced by the private owners, whoever, the business that you work in is unsafe. Because
and that might be helpful to GMs to take it to their owners.
Exactly.
Because then that would be quite helpful to them to protect the team. Yeah.
And again,
Jo, that would be lovely. Thank you.
And again, guys, you are the experts. So when you're sitting there and trying to inform in the boardroom or in the team meetings, what the budget is, it is up to you to stand your ground and go, yeah, that's fine. But if you cut my budget, or if you don't give me these extra 2 people, we will be COVID-19 not secure. We won't be COVID-19 secure, and the impact of that is that guests could report you. So it's entirely up to you. But I have told you, I'm now going to email you that. Just
exactly.
Myself and see what happens. And I know it's difficult time to rock the boat, but you know, and Heather is saying, and Heather, I know this. You know, all of us know this. You know, we've got a lovely COVID-19 secure place. Everyone working exceptionally hard, but the take is, you know, we need to make as much as money as possible, and everyone's going through that mind process. However, the only way to make as much as money as possible is to stay open, and if they're not doing the right thing, they shouldn't be open. So let's put that into that you know, into that context, and hopefully make some difference. If it's not making difference, Lorraine, can I put you on the spot and say, what can we do as an organization then, if our members are coming back to us and saying, look, we're being pressured to do XYZ, you know, we'll go to master in holders. Are we going to write to these businesses and say, hello, you know, we are a UKHA and we would like you to review your policies? Can we do that?
We can do that, but I need to be reassured that the people around me, that is factual. We need to have facts. I can't have, this is a feeling. It all has to be factual. If we're going to go and we're going to be believed and we're going to go, and petition is really what you're saying, then we need to have our facts in place, and we need to then be able to follow it up and back it up. And I think what we need to do then is probably get some people behind us that will support us in that, because we're making quite a big statement there. And the Housekeeping Association particularly needs to make sure a little bit that we're unbiased, because potentially there is a lot of general managers and there's a lot of hotels out there, there's a lot of hospitals, there's a lot of care homes that are doing the right thing. And we mustn't forget that. And there's lots of, and you know, the majority of housekeepers all want to do the right thing. So hopefully we're only talking about a minority and not the majority. But most definitely, I'm happy to support any of the housekeepers out there.
That's brilliant. So a petition would be something that we could do, but potentially also sharing best case scenarios and best case practice to encourage others to follow that practice. And what happens if you don't follow the best practice? Thank you so much for this discussion. It's really interesting. Can I ask the last question? Well, second to last question of the evening, and that is, are there any other training or any other supports that you need as part of your membership or that the UKHA can provide? We talked about interview skills. We talked about CV building, transferable skills, Zoom awareness and training. Anything else that we can be providing for you or your team members? If you do come up with something, pop it onto a chat or let us know. I'm hoping that in the next month I'm going to get a lot chattier group than this is, because I thought I'll have to manage a lot of people talking at the same time. Now we get to the crucial question of the evening. Okay, what's being crocheted in the background?
Jan.
Everyone wants to know.
Jan, what is it?
I think she's gone.
She's there. Jan.
Oh,
no, she's there. Look.
Yeah.
I'm making baby mittens.
Oh.
To go with this.
That's absolutely amazing. So there's to go with.
Let me see. Oh,
that's
cute.
So cute. Absolutely cute. I was going to but you're doing that whilst I'm hosting a webinar, but I'm not going to, because that's so cute.
There's the first mitten.
That's absolutely amazing. So that was one of the burning questions, and my last job of the day, because Andrew's gone, is to pick the most wildest background that is going to win the award. I reckon it's mine. I'm just thinking, Lorraine, do you want to join me in picking the background? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Let me look.
I'm up for Mike. I think Mike's, mind you, actually Carrie and her buddy there.
I agree.
I'm
like
thinking Carrie.
Carrie's.
Carrie's
Can we have a show of hands?
Did you see my crossed cat?
I see Carrie Adams'
or
cat.
doggy. What is it?
I prefer this one.
Oh my
Well, I've
God.
got a real life skinks on my shoulder, Kerry.
Yeah, Kerry's got a real
That's what
life
you got,
skinks.
isn't it, Kerry? That is
Yeah.
yours. That's yours.
Here it
Look, you've
is.
got one. You got a real
Yeah.
one.
I think Terry wins. But
Well, then
thank
it was
you,
Kerry
Lorraine.
Adams then.
There you go, it's done. Thank you so much for an amazing evening. Thank you for sharing
Thank
the
you,
information
guys.
that you
Thank
have.
you.
Thank you.
We will make actions out of this, and hopefully you can join us for the webinars that we will put together for you in the terms of the redundant workers. And again, remember that the jobs are displayed or can be displayed on UKHA website. So keep us posted. If you have any other training needs or challenges, again, use the WhatsApp groups and let your chairs know. Nicole, anything from you?
No, I think I've said enough.
Brilliant meeting, Nicole. Brilliant.
It was lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for getting
very much.
out.
Have an amazing
Bye.
evening.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.